Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
So, hello dear friends, welcome back to NPTEL online course on logistics and supply chain management. I am Dr. Vikas Thakur, Assistant Professor, Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, IIT Kanpur. So, in the last session we discussed about the key performance indicators in logistics function, right. So, what are those parameters any organization working in this area and or delivering product or services at your doorstep must look on those parameters, or maybe must try to follow the best practices in that industry, keeping them as benchmark. And then we have explored all the functional areas in logistics, like transportation we discussed about warehousing, we discussed about supply, we discussed about distribution performance indicators, and then we discussed about the overall supply chain or logistics performance indicators, right. So, now in this session it is very important now to find out some tools which can help you to improve those performance indicators, right. If you are lacking somewhere, how we can improve those indicators. So, in this session particularly we are going to cover, right. So, I have picked some very famous tools we are using in operation management, and I have tried to use those tools in improving the logistics management performance, right. So, very first is plan, do, check, act cycle, which we will see what are those different stages, right. And then very famous 7 QC tools we will use, quality control tools, how we can improve the quality of shipping the product, packaging the right product, and right packaging also, right, and then delivery on time, and then accurate delivery, right. So, these all things, whatever KPIs we discussed, we will try to manage those KPIs using these some of the approaches, right. And then famous framework is quality circle. Then we will discuss about how we can benchmark the best practices in this industry, and then finally we will be concluding up with the how we can improve the overall performance, or the if we will talk about the total quality of this complete logistics network, right. So, we may spend couple of session on discussing these techniques. So, just go through the quick introduction. So, quality is basically there are two different definitions, one is for the customer, other one is for the product supplier, the manufacturer who is offering the product to the market, right. So, we will go through these two different concepts, right. So, quality control is a crucial aspect of logistics management to ensure that product reach the customers end with specified standards and quality, right. So, if you are receiving any package at your doorstep, and then if you did not even open that packet and that is damaged, so this is something will give you very bad impression to the customer, and that brand image will be hampered if we are we cannot afford on ordering maybe kind of delicate products using those courier services, because they never care about your packet, right. So, that kind of perception comes in your mind, and when you see okay, we will buy these kind of products. So, we will not buy through online platform, we will go physically, we will check, and then we will get it home delivered with proper care, right. So, that should not happen. So, only that will happen only when we are taking care of those specified standards and quality, right. So, obviously, we will talk about these quality measures in transportation, warehousing, inventory management, material handling, and packaging. So, quality assurance is a procedure to ensure quality of products or services by preventing mistakes and defects, right, in the products. And when we are talking about the logistics, so obviously because manufacturing right now we are not considering as part of it, when we will talk about complete supply chain, obviously manufacturing will also part of that, right. But right now let us focus only on the correct deliveries to the end customer. In the product should reach in the right shape, right. So when we define quality, we can define fit for purpose, right first time. Fit for purpose means for whatever purpose it is intended, it should fit, right. It should be readily usable, right. So your distribution network should provide the delivery in such a way that once it is reaching at your home, you are getting that product, you can plug and play kind of system should be there. Right first time, that there should not be any chance of mistake, right, in that. So you should be very right in the very first time. You cannot just ring the bell of the door of someone else and then you are saying, oh sorry, this is not yours order, I mistakenly I have just knocked your door wrongly, right. So that cannot happen. So you have to be correct in the very first time. So just going through what is the concept of quality, I told you there are two different perspectives, producer perspective and customer perspective. Producer perspective, their main focus is on conformance to specifications, right. So if I am saying that you are designing your packaging and your packaging should be ready to bear all the wear and tear through the transportation network. When we are transporting that product, it should be ready. So maybe we are checking the strength of that packaging, how strong that packet is, so that if that wear and tear happens during the transportation, right, so whether our product will be safer in that or not. So that means you might be having some specification related to the strength of that, okay. So same way we are defining the strengths of we are defining the parameters. In terms of that, we can say we are defining the parameters, right. And in whenever we are defining parameters, we are defining a proper range up to what they can go left or right, and still they are within control. We will consider it that they are within control. So that range we are defining, right. So conformance to specification, you are meeting the predefined specification, that means you are meeting the quality standards. Then at what cost you are meeting those quality standards will define your cost function and obviously will affect your price and obviously will affect your profit and margins as well, right. Now if we will look on the other way, the consumer perspective, to whom you are making the end delivery. So they are obviously, they are not worried about the specification, whatever specification you are taking, whatever strength you are checking of the box, right, whatever quality parameters testing you are doing with your final product. But when it is reaching at my home, I will just check whether the packet is okay or not, whether the product is functioning or not, whether the safety parameters are okay or not. So that means whatever quality characteristics you are promising in the market, I will check for those quality characteristics, I will check the functionality, I will not go for what parameter you have designed, right, or behind the window whatever is happening, maybe if you are talking about home appliances, so what capacity you are picking for picking the electronic components, or how you are improving, whether it is 3-star AC, 4-star, 5-star, whatever it is, aluminum binding, copper binding, I have nothing to do with that. Only thing is, if you are saying that it is 5-star rating and will help you to reduce your electricity bill and will ensure the, with inverter technology will ensure the proper cooling, that is the promise from your side to means very common customer, and I will be looking for that. So once it is plugged, so I should be easily in the condition to play that, right. So fitness for use, this is how we can define the quality for these two different stakeholders in that distribution network. One is who is providing the products or services, other one is who is receiving the products and services. Meaning of quality for these two different stakeholders are different in that way. Now when we are ensuring the quality, there are two types of cost, right. One is cost of conformance and then is non-conformance. Let us say if you are saying that your product is a quality product, or you are saying that your delivery, let us say we specific in logistics, the delivery is always on time and you are getting always the right product, or the address is always right, right. So, packaging is always up to the mark, right. So, these are the promises. Now, quality means that I am getting all these promises, right. So, to ensure this, that product is reaching in right quantity, right quality, or variety, or whatever color you picked, whatever stuff is inside that. If I am receiving that, that means you are conforming to those standards. So, for ensuring that, obviously, I will be doing all the quality checks. When I am doing all the quality checks, obviously, there will be one team who will be doing that. There will be some equipments we are using to ensure the quality. There will be some facilities we are using to sort the products, we are using to pack the product and labeling those product, right addresses on those products so that it should reach to right customer. All this will carry the cost, right. This is your cost of conformance, providing the right product. We are doing so many supporting activities so that the right product delivery can be ensured, right, in that way. This is the direct cost. The indirect cost is quality training. When I am saying that one team is working who is taking care of the packaging, one team is working who is taking care in the warehouse handling, one team is totally dedicated on transportation network designing, and then routing, and then delivery, and then everything, right, whatever functions are in logistics management. So, to ensure the quality throughout the channel, we need to train our people. It is not that distribution is just anyone can enter into this and can do that duty, right. We discussed about that we need skilled people in the transportation logistics industry who can pack the product in the right way and who are professional in packaging, right. So, that training will also add some cost in that. We are doing some studies, some surveys, whether the quality is met or not, that will also add cost into this. This is cost to the quality, right. So, we usually say quality is free. This is very important statement, quality is free, but when you check this, the quality is not free. We will prove this how this is free. So, there is cost of ensuring the quality, you are doing a regular checkup, your team is working on that, equipments are working on that, right, and then you are ensuring the quality. You are doing surveys, studies to find out is there any problem, sampling based you are picking the products and then finding out, okay, the package is delivered on time, in right condition, to the right customer, address was right, all those things you are doing, right, this is carrying certain cost. So, this is the cost of the quality. Then cost of non-conformance. Let us say if we are not doing that, randomly we are picking. So, what will happen? We will do the wrong delivery, we will ship the wrong product, we will ship obviously product and then quality will be in problem, right. So, you might have seen certain ads or something maybe in the social media that you are ordering phone through your e-commerce website and then in the end you got something else, maybe bathing soap or maybe some other salt packet or something like that, right. This usually sometimes this happens. So, that means so many things can happen when you are not meeting all those standards. So, one thing is order will be coming back rejected. Another thing is if that product is wrong, so that will be a kind of scrap for you, and sometimes items are so, if you will again pick those items, those are kind of maybe fragile items, if you will pick those items again will come with your to your distribution center, that you may break those items sometimes. So, you are leaving with the customer only and even you are giving them refund. If it is damaged during shipment, then you have to do the rework. You under warranty period, your engineer will be visiting the site and then will replace the components free of cost. So, you just see this is the indirect cost that is coming to your company if you are not shipping your product in a right way. So, if I will equate this cost with this cost, so if you are ensuring the quality, this all will not happen, right? Nothing is coming back from the customer. So, whatever you are delivering the right product, damaged product, I told you the share is around 25 to 30%, because we are damaging when we are delivering the product. So, that is direct cost to the customer, and that is one direct cost. Indirect cost is my brand image is also hampered. Now, customer will never prefer my website, or I told you one survey where 80 or 85% customers who had any prior bad experience with e-commerce player related to anything, delivery, payment or anything, right? They then try to avoid going for those e-commerce websites, and they want to they actually prefer than going physically and check the product. So, these are the cost when we are saying. So, in the end, if we equate that, if we are ensuring the quality and maintaining that brand image, we can say that quality is free, right? You can overcome these costs. So, let us take a very simple example, and we will see why these surveys or research are required to identify the faults, and then what we will do with when we will identify the faults. Let us say a very simple example. There is some there are so many stages. One is your packaging. Packaging is happening at one stage. Let us say in 3 shifts, 3 different people are working. Let us keep it very simple. 3 different people are working, right? Shift A, B, C. Now, I can see, I am analyzing that usually there are some faults or errors when we are doing the packaging. What can be errors when we are doing the packaging? Maybe you did not that packaging is damaged and you did not check it, and you packed in that. Then you packed the wrong product. Then what can be there? You forgot to put the accessories in that. Let us say you are packing the mobile and charger is missing, or sometimes you did not put the manual instructions, right? Instruction manual inside that packaging. So, these are some of the common mistakes, errors you can do when you are doing the packaging. There can be so many others, right? So, now 3 different people are working. Now, many complaints are coming from the markets, let us say, that there are issues with the packaging. So, I need to find out first issue with the packaging, what type of issues. Let us say this is 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 things are there. Let us say I will just analyze first problem, how many times it is occurring? 15 times. Second problem, 20 times. Third problem, 10 times. Fourth problem, 5 times. So, now I can find out that the second problem is the highest, right? Highest frequency, 20 times. And what is that problem? Wrong product packed. So, the person whosoever is working on that, he is packing the wrong product, right? So, now I identified the problem, and then obviously next important problem is, once we will solve that problem, the next is packaging damaged. Why packaging is damaged? Now, for these kind of problems, obviously the person who is working on that is responsible. He did not check the packaging, and obviously the vendor who is providing you the packaging material as well is responsible, but the first stage here is the person who is working on that stage. Now, I need to identify whether this problem is the first person, second person or third person. Where are the maximum counts coming? The complaints are coming who was the person, operator sitting on that stage and was handling these activities, right? So, I identified the shift operator who is doing that. I identified the problems, I now prioritize all the problems, and I found that second problem is the most prioritized. We need to take the quick action. So, let us now find out, problem is diagnosed now. Now, we need to find out the solution. So, now let's move towards the solution. Shift operator, who is the shift operator? Let's say the problem is with the second person and we are getting the maximum complaints with the products which are packed during his period, right? Now what is the problem with the person? So maybe now there can be so many problems, whether he is not happy with the job, he is not happy with the company management, he is not happy with the compensation in terms of the salary he is getting, in terms of the medical things he is getting, in terms of the other hospitalities whatever he is getting. Maybe he is not finding his passion in that job, maybe his skills are not aligned in that job, right? These can be the reasons, okay? So many other reasons. Maybe he is disturbed. Why he is disturbed? Again, maybe personal life he is disturbed, maybe professional life he is disturbed, right? Why professional life? Again, we need to ask these questions so that we can find out the root cause. This is the another step where we will find out why that wrong product is being shipped, because the person is disturbed professionally. Let's say person is disturbed professionally because he is not finding passion in that job or his skills are not aligned. That means he was capable of doing something, maybe something else, but we deployed that manpower on that workstation. Where is the problem? Problem is with the placement of that person. Who is doing the placement? HR team is conducting the interviews, and in the interview only, when they are going for selection, there only they need to identify the placement as well, that this person is capable of quality, this person in the quality department, this person is capable of doing the production kind of things, this person is capable of doing the R&D kind of things, or this is capable of marketing the product, or what kind of things he can do, right? So you can just see with one problem how we can identify. First we need to diagnose the problem, what are the reasons, we need to find out, we need to prioritize the reason, we need to go to the root cause. So these all tools somehow are interlinked, and then we can diagnose a particular situation and we can find out the solution. So we'll go through these tools one by one. So just to see how through automation they have improved their key performance indicators. So this is a little longer video, but it is worth watching, will give you the complete picture of the performance indicators. You guys can just quickly go through these videos and then we'll continue our discussion on the topic. So yes, so you can just see, this is not a small thing, that 40,000 items per hour they are handling through their automated machines. And then if you see 11,000 plus facilities they are injecting with their packages, right? So how beautifully DHL is doing that using automation. If you talk about the indicators, performance indicators, you can just imagine how much they are spending on one order if they are handling 40,000 orders, packages in 1 hour, right? So then if you are talking about at that level, so obviously you cannot say that errors can happen at any time, so there cannot be any excuse. So whether it is completely automated plant or you are doing with your human intervention, whatever it is, right? But in the end you cannot just be efficient just by promising your quality, right? So these are some of the tools. Down the line we will discuss plan and do check act, right? So 7QC tools, quality circle, 5S approach, how it will help us to improve that, and then benchmarking. Going to the very first is, so this was obviously a 4-step, this is known as wheel also, plan, do, check, act, wheel, right? So how we'll do that? We'll first plan, then we'll implement it, then we'll check the results, and then we'll act accordingly. If it is okay, results are okay, we'll standardize those things, and if it is not okay, again we'll go for the next phase planning, and then we'll do the modifications depending upon the feedback, and then again we'll implement. So this circle will keep on going until that problem, specific problem is resolved. Then we will go for the next problem, and we'll go with this wheel. This approach was given by Dr. William Edwards Deming. So, obviously, the main Walter Shewhart has is known as quality guru as well, and his contribution in that, he is pioneer in that field, right. So, even W. Edwards Deming as well. So, in Japan, I think there are prizes against their name, Deming Prize for quality. So, this is how those people are renowned in that industry. So, very first is plan. In the plan phase, you need to define the objective, right. So, what is the objective? Like I told you, first you need to identify the problem. What is the problem right now? Let us say we discussed in the example that problem is related to packaging, right. So, how we can improve the packaging? If that is not fault of the packaging and is the fault of the person who is actually working on that stage, then we need to change the plan, right. So, we need to work with that person. If he is not happy with that work, or if he is not happy with the compensation policy, or all those things we discussed, right, then we need to address his grievances, right, and then again we will implement those things, whatever suggestions are there, and then we will again check whether the performance has improved in terms of the number of complaints have reduced or not, right. So, that is the first stage, we need to define the objective. Then this is, if we will divide this process into 3 sub steps, we need to identify the improvement opportunity, where we will plan that. Again, there are so many opportunities for the improvement. Which opportunity we will pick first? Like I told you, the highest occurring problem was 20 times, right, which was we were shipping the wrong product. So, there is the greatest opportunity, we should explore it first, because then we can reduce the highest number of complaints coming from the markets, right. Then we need to set the measurable targets. Now, if we are implementing that, what is the target? Next 1 month, it should be 20, it should be reduced to 12 or 10, right. Then again 2 months review we will be doing 5, then again maybe 6 months we will see the consistency is there or not, right. The way now the new person or the same person after that handling the grievances, how he is doing that. Then we need to prepare the action plan. As per that, we will prepare that whether we will sustain this plan for other workers also. Maybe others are also not happy right now, maybe not creating the problem, and maybe in future that can happen, or we need to change. If we need to change, we need to come up with the new policy, right. So, that we need to take care. So, this is the first stage where we will plan. Then second is do. Now, once we have planned, we need to test that plan. So, you need to test the plan, right. Whether, how you can test that? You need to actually perform as per that action. So, in very simple way, if I will try to conclude this, let us say I am having some process. This is the process we are doing, right. This process is having certain output. Now, this output I need to compare with some standards which we have already set up in that, right. So, I will compare with this actual output with the standards, whatever standards we have set. Now, we will see, is there any deviation in the actual output from the standard? If the answer is no, we will continue with the process. And this positive feedback is provided, right. If the answer is yes, there is deviation, we need to take the corrective action. Not only corrective action, we need to take the CAPA, corrective action as well as the preventive action. Corrective action, immediately either we need to change the process, or we need to change the raw material being supplied, or we need to change the technology, whatever it is taking, we need to change that thing as per the corrective action. Preventive action is that in future that should not happen, we should make some policy. So, this is the complete cycle, right, how we are controlling the output, how we are comparing this output with the fixed standard, right. So, you will implement that, then you will check. So, if goal has been met, then that cycle will be over, we will take the next problem. If it is not met, again we need to change, we will take that feedback, we will take the corrective action, and then either we will change the raw material or we will change the process, or we will change the technology, right. Act. So, in the end, if it is your goal is met, we need to act accordingly in future as well. So, that means we need to sustain that procedure for the other employees as well, because they may be feeling in the same way. So, this is the first tool, plan, do, check, act, which we can implement and we can use to ensure the quality through your logistics distribution network, right. So, how does this plan, do, check, act will enhance the logistics quality? So, quality costs are associated with obtaining the required quality, right. So, they relate, for instance, the deployment of an industrial preventive maintenance, like we talked about quality cost, right. All the appraisal cost are quality cost, whatever we are testing we are doing, or manpower training we are doing, equipment we are using, facility we are using, that all those things are adding to the quality cost. And then non quality cost, if you are not meeting those standards and you are making the fault delivery again and again, then you can just imagine your situation in the market, because then customer will not be interested placing order on your website, right. So, and if it is related to some financial transaction, so obviously we will think 100 times before placing the order. So, this is all about the plan, do, check, act cycle. In the next session, we will continue our other quality tools which can be used to improve the logistics quality. So, we will continue with the 7 QC tools. So, that is all for this session. Thank you very much.